In the coastal town of Isla Verde, where waves kiss the black stones and fishermen whisper to the wind, there lived an ancient story passed down for centuries. They said that deep beneath the sea, beyond the coral forests and silent trenches, there slept a creature older than time itself, Aelion, the guardian of tides. He was neither god nor beast, but something in between, a being born when the first tears of the moon fell into the ocean. He was the balance between the sea's rage and its serenity. Every 100 years, when the sea glowed silver beneath a blue moon, Aelion would rise to the surface, not to harm, but to feel, to remember what it meant to be alive. And one such night was approaching again. Maris Alonso was not like the other people in Isla Verde. While everyone feared the ocean's depth, she found peace in its mystery. At 27, she worked as a marine biologist, cataloging sea flora and studying the changing coral life. She often said the sea was alive, not just biologically, but spiritually. Her colleagues laughed it off. But Maris had her reasons. When she was 7, she nearly drowned during a storm. She remembered sinking, the salt burning her lungs, when suddenly a glowing figure, half human, half shadow, wrapped her in warmth and carried her to shore. She never saw it again, but since that day, she'd felt something calling her whenever the tide rose high. Now, years later, she rented a small cottage by the shore, spending her nights recording sounds of whales and deep-sea vibrations. One midnight, as the blue moon began to climb, her instruments went wild. A strange frequency pulsed through the water, soft, melodic, almost like a heartbeat. And then she heard it, a voice. Maris. She froze. The name drifted through her open window, soft as mist, but clear as a whisper in her ear. Maris thought she was hallucinating, until the sea began to shimmer. From the moonlit waves rose a figure, tall and radiant, with eyes like shifting tides. His skin glowed faintly, marked by iridescent scales that faded into human flesh. His hair flowed like liquid silver. Aelion had awakened. Maris stumbled backward, half in awe, half in terror. But the creature smiled, sadly, tenderly. "Do not fear me," he said, his voice a blend of wind and water. "You've called me, just as you did years ago." Her breath caught. You saved me." He nodded. "You were drowning. I was curious." That night, they spoke for hours. Maris asked questions, scientific, spiritual, impossible ones, and Aelion answered with calm grace. He told her about the ancient covenant between the sea and humankind, how once, long ago, both lived in harmony, but humans grew hungry for power, and the balance broke. His duty was to guard the ocean's heart until humanity proved worthy again. And yet, for reasons he didn't understand, Aelion had always been drawn to one lineage of humans, the family of a little girl he once saved. "Perhaps," he mused, "your soul remembers me." Maris laughed uneasily. "Or maybe—" Days turned into weeks. Aelion visited her every night when the tide came in. Sometimes he appeared in full human form, walking the shore in silence. Other times, only his reflection shimmered on the surface, speaking through ripples. Maris found herself waiting for him each dusk. He told her about coral that sang in the deep, about creatures that wept like children, about storms that were born from sorrow. In return, she told him about humans, their love, their flaws, their need to feel alive even in destruction. "You are all so fragile," Aelion once said. Yet you chase eternity. Maybe that's what makes us beautiful, she answered. And as they spoke, something began to grow, something that terrified them both. Love. Alion, the immortal guardian, began to envy the heartbeats he didn't have. Maris, the scientist, began to question everything she believed. They never touched, not once. But when their eyes met, the air trembled. The town began to notice strange things. Fishermen found their nets empty, yet swore they heard singing beneath the waves. The sea glowed faintly at night, and the tide patterns became erratic. Some said it was a curse. Others said the old guardian had returned. Maris's boss, Dr. Lorenzo, led a research team to investigate. When he discovered that Maris's data equipment was detecting humanoid sonar signals, he grew suspicious. "Maris," he said sternly, "you're hiding something. It's just interference." But he didn't believe her. He installed hidden sensors around the bay. That night, as Maris met Alion by the shore, red lights blinked across the rocks, tracking, recording. Alion frowned. "They are watching. They'll think you're a new species," she said anxiously. "They'll capture you." "Then I must go." Her heart dropped. "No, please, not yet. You are of the land. I am of the sea. Our worlds cannot stay entwined." Maris reached out instinctively, and for the first time, their hands touched. The contact unleashed a blinding flash. The waves roared, the machines overloaded and exploded in sparks, and from the distance, Dr. Lorenzo saw it all. The next day, government vessels arrived. Maris was detained for questioning, accused of withholding critical data. They believed she'd discovered an unknown aquatic entity. They combed the bay with sonar, explosives, and deep-sea drones. Alion remained hidden beneath the abyss, wounded and furious. The sea darkened with his sorrow. When Maris was released days later, she rushed to the shore. The beach smelled of oil and dead fish. The ocean, once vibrant, was eerily still. "Please," she whispered into the wind, "come back." And the waves answered, not in words, but with a sudden violent surge. The water rose unnaturally, towering like a wall. From its crest, Alion appeared, his eyes burning like lightning. "They pierced my realm. They do not understand balance." Maris fell to her knees. "Don't hurt them." "They hurt me first." Lightning cracked across the water. The waves swept through the pier, smashing ships like toys. People screamed. Maris ran into the surf, desperate. "Alion, please, this isn't you." He turned to her, anguish twisting his features. "You made me remember what it means to love, Maris. But love has awakened rage as well." And with that, he vanished beneath the collapsing tide. Days passed. The sea remained stormy, unpredictable. Coastal areas flooded. The authorities blamed a deep-sea disturbance. But Maris knew the truth. She spent every night at the water's edge, calling his name. Finally, one night, under a waning moon, the waves parted, and Alion emerged again. His glow was dimmer, his voice weak. "I am fading. I broke the covenant. I let emotion rule me." Tears filled Maris's eyes. "Then let me help you. I can fix this. Science, energy, whatever you need." "No. What's broken is not the sea. It's the bridge between our worlds." He placed a hand on her chest, over her heart. "But you can restore it, if you choose." Maris didn't understand until she saw the mark forming on her skin, a faint symbol glowing like his scales. "Your life can anchor mine, but it will cost you your humanity." She froze. "You mean I'll die?" "You'll live, but beneath the waves. You'll become like me." Her tears mixed with the salt water. "And if I don't?" "Then I will vanish forever, and the sea will lose its guardian." The storm raged behind them. Lightning flashed over the water. She had to choose. Love or life. Humanity or eternity. After a trembling breath, she whispered, "Then, take me with you." Alion's eyes softened. He leaned forward, pressing his forehead to hers. The world blurred in silver light. The waves swallowed them both. Months later, the storm ceased. The tides calmed. The ocean healed. Fishermen spoke of two shapes they sometimes saw beneath the surface, one bright, one dark, swimming side by side through the moonlit currents. Maris Alonso was declared missing. Her house remained untouched, her journals filled with sketches of waves and symbols that no one could decipher. But sometimes, when the blue moon rises again, the people of Isla Verde hear a voice in the wind, a woman's voice, singing softly over the water, and the sea glows in reply. 100 years later, a young boy walking by the shore finds a shell cone glowing faintly blue. When he holds it to his ear, he hears a whisper, "Maris, find me." And far beneath the sea, Alion, still waiting, opens his eyes once more.